is Tarik Talk. Your host, Tarik Mendes, takes you on a journey with guests from all around the world. Broadcasting around the world. Around the world. This is Tarik Talk.
Christina, help me out on this one. Christina Welzer.
Welzer, yes.
Welzer, very nice. How are you today?
Doing good. Energy is high.
Yeah. Do you mind sharing your Instagram name with us, please?
Yes. So it's at C Welzer.
Perfect. Can you spell that for all of us non-English-speaking people?
Yes. So C is in cat, W-E-L, Z is in zebra, E-R.
Perfect. Thank you. And you're in booth 41, I see?
41.
Perfect. And is this your first time in the Spring Break Art Show?
Yes. My first time as an artist, but the curator, Nadia Tahoun, has done it twice before.
Perfect. And can you tell me a little bit about the work that you're exhibiting?
Yes. So I've been recently working on a series of collages of women kind of entangled with these demonic figures. And then the idea behind the show is that either the women or the demons are kind of shadows. So the monsters are meant to represent external depictions of the internal struggles that everyone is trying to suppress. Mostly women, I would say. So Spring Break was a really great opportunity to really nail the installation, because I know it's not like it's not paintings on a wall. It's like hanging papers, and we're really inspired by shadow puppets. So being able to like show these the way they were meant to be seen in one space was super exciting.
And how's your creative process?
Creative process. I love drawing, so every single image starts off as a drawing, and then I love making work. So almost every night I'll just go to the studio and work like piece by piece. I'm very detail oriented, so I really like to just kind of meditate and lose myself putting on individual feathers on like a wing.
That's so cool. And how do ideas come to you? Is it like in the daytime, nighttime?
Yeah, I guess it can come wherever. I'm really inspired by my own family history and kind of what it took to go from Korea, survive a war, and then bring every single family member over to America to create like a really beautiful life for generations moving forward. My mother was first generation. I feel like I just have been given every opportunity in the world. So it's important that I guess like harness the legacy that I've inherited and put it into something interesting more than like images, basically. That's how I try to use it, and that's like the thesis of my whole work.
And do you think your background has like impacted your work?
Yeah, definitely. I've always been really inspired by Asian imagery, like Japanese ukiyo-e prints or Japanese folk tales, Korean folk tales. I always really thought it was interesting how maybe during the Renaissance the Italians were super focused on getting perfect perspectives and perfect proportions, and then in Asia and Korea and Japan and China it was so much more about pattern and space and texture, and I find that so much more interesting, and that's kind of what I pull from, or one of the inspirations.
How do you come up with all these ideas? Like, do you write them down? Do you draw them? Do you keep it like in your notes app or your like a sketchbook?
Yeah, I mean, for my phone, for me, is like pure work or garbage or Instagram. So I like anything that has to do with art. I like write it down or use a sketchbook. So those, I think, are how I keep track of things.
Perfect. And then for those that are checking out your Instagram account, if you're listening right now, do you have anything coming up after this?
This is a big deal for me. I'm really excited to be here. So I'm just more excited to keep making work. Like, I feel like I have another like really big idea, and I just want time, and I'm just gonna go back to working at night and making more images.
And then when you're in the studio, are you like do you prefer like more at the nighttime? Like you?
Yeah, I love working at night because like less people are texting you. You're not looking at your phone. It's like quiet. Like I love working in the winter at night when it's just like dead silent outside and it's just cold and no one's in the studio building. That's my favorite. So then you could just like make the weirdest images.
Yeah. And do you have like any studio rituals? Like when you get into the studio, is there like anything you have to do, like catch up on the news, coffee before you get to work, or you can like go in, close the door, get to work right away?
Yeah, I love making tea. I'll like put a pot of jasmine tea on. That's my favorite because it's like the perfect amount of caffeine for me, where I could sleep afterwards, but it perks me up when I get in at like 7. Yeah, so I love tea, and then I'll cycle through podcasts and music.
And is your brain always thinking of ideas and looking for inspiration, or are you able to like, let's say, like pause at certain times and like really be in your environment?
I feel like I'm always open to thinking or finding some new form of inspiration. I mean, life is inspiring, so there's always like a piece of information that pops up that can be used somewhere.
Yeah, love that. And thank you so much for being on the podcast. Can you just share your Instagram for those listening right now, please?
Yes, it's at C. Welzer again. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you for listening to Tarik Talk. Follow Tarik Talk on all social media channels and check out the video interviews online.